Hello again, everybody. This is Brother Chooch for Thinking Out Loud About the End Times. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. This is the home of the Rapture Heads, and I am very grateful to have this opportunity to talk to you. But I'm not sure if you could hear me, so let me make sure you can hear me. Brother Tyler, welcome. It looks like you guys can hear me okay, which is very nice. So, tonight is, I think, a special night for me because I have been thinking about things. And of course, this channel is called Thinking Out Loud About the End Times. Been considering where we're at, where we've been, and where we're going. And I'm very thankful for Bro Tyler and Bro Chad for praying for me for this particular video because I just want this video to be honest and open. And I want to say just right off the bat that it's been a wonderful journey since I started doing this channel. I can't tell you how much I've been blessed because when I've been doing this back in 2016, so we're talking, what's it been, 5 years now, really excited because when the Revelation 12 sign came, I got very excited and I wanted to be a part of this community to warn people. And so it was wonderful, and it's been wonderful every single year, every single day that we watch is a blessing. And so, as you know, I've been talking about when the Lord may be coming, and it's an awesome responsibility because we're not talking about just any old thing. We're talking about arguably one of the most important events scheduled to happen ever. We're not trying to predict, this is not the farmer's almanac trying to see what kind of winter we're going to have. This is not trying to figure out if a stock is going to go up or down. This is like biblical prophecy. This is talking about the promises of God's Son. And so even though I can't, deny myself of who I am, and we use lots of humor here, lots of dry humor. Some people don't know when we're serious, when we're not, but in all actuality, we're very serious about the things of God. So one of the things I want to say is that, um, well, I guess it's an apology because as encouraging as this channel has been, there has been times where we felt very convicted. We felt very excited about certain seasons, certain times. I'd be lying if I said that 2017 at the Revelation 12 sign, I thought this was it. And I certainly thought that there was a good reason to be excited at the end of 2019. And we made Rapture convergence theory for 2020 and 2021. And when you look at all these things, and you could go back in time and watch older videos, every single time we didn't just say, and we didn't have a big bingo wheel or with those big bingo cages with all those ping pongs in it numbered. We didn't just twirl that around and reach in and grab something. We explained why we are excited about certain dates. and certain times. And we didn't really ever say on this date or that date, but we had high watch times for sure. So I want to just have this video because we're at a time right now where, at least for TOL, I can't speak for the other watchmen. We're at a time, if we're being honest, where I don't have I have more questions than I have answers. And as I meditated on the Lord not too long ago, I believe he gave me a thought. I don't want to say I heard an audible voice, but he gave me a thought. And I've been wrestling the last few days because, let's be honest with ourselves. There is there is a period of time right now. I said 2 weeks ago, the next 14 days are critical. That was 2 weeks before Halloween, October 31st. And now there is reason to be on a very high watch alert to November 6th and 7th, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But if we go past that, I don't want you to think that, at least at TOL end times, that we see um, something major this winter. But let me explain myself a little bit, okay? Um, we want to just say that we have really hung our hat on what we believe to be scripturally accurate of the fig tree generation tied into Psalm 90, verse 10. And we that was foundational for TOL end times. And so part of the apology is that if we get to May 14th, 2022, that marriage is over. If we're still here, 14th, 2022, we're those two, our understanding of the fig tree generation tied in with Psalm 90 verse goes out the window, right? Now, this is why I think that this is a bit of a critical time the next week, is because we have fall feasts that have been pushed forward a month, and we've already experienced, by using these calculations, Feast of Trumpets on 10, 7, and 8, Feast of Atonement, and Feast of Tabernacles passed last week, right? Now, because we're not hanging our hat so much on the rapture being tied to a feast day, but we hold a lot of weight here at TOL of the Lord coming back and fulfilling the last three feast days in the fall. And the reason why we believe that is because he fulfilled the spring feasts in the spring. We believe that we believe in the literal interpretation of a 7-year tribulation period. Now, thanks to some good brothers who've crunched some numbers, we have till about November 6th or 7th before we will miss the fall window of 2028. So, in other words, if the tribulation period happens extremely soon, we have time to fit in enough days to fulfill the feasts, the fall feasts in 2028, with one caveat, and it's a big caveat, is that 2028 would need to be a Jubilee year in order for the Feast of Trumpets to be on the day of Feast of Atonement. And so if the Lord were to return on that day, that would be he could fulfill those two feasts on his return at the same day, which would be absolutely remarkable, because he could fulfill the Feast of Trumpets and the Feast of Atonement on the very day he comes back at Armageddon at the second coming. And it just seems pretty remarkable and neat. Now here's the deal. No, it's not a deal. Here's the facts. The fact is that, do you realize in order for that kind of theory to be fulfilled, that the tribulation period has to start? I'm not even talking about the rapture right now. The tribulation would have to start by the end of this week. It's November 1st. And so this weekend, actually, yeah, Saturday, Sunday-ish, the tribulation would have to start. Now, here's the word. Again, I don't want to say word because I didn't hear audible word. I say, I think when the Lord speaks to me, it's not audible. The skies don't part, and I hear harps and a thunderous voice. I get a thought. And sometimes that thought is not of the Lord, and sometimes it is. So obviously, what I'm sharing right now is kind of, it's not precise, but the thought that came into my head that has the feeling that it's of the Lord is, I am able. And when I thought about that, I am able, it really resonated with me because, as you know, a lot of these Watchman channels, we come to you with, hey, look at this date. What if the Lord fulfills things by um, doing this or doing that or doing that or doing this? And one big mistake that I think we may not intentionally try to do, but we come across sometimes, I think, an interpretation that can happen per se, is that it's almost like we're saying, God, this is what we got figured out what you're going to do. So you need to do it this way. Because just like I said a few minutes ago, I am assuming that the Lord will fulfill the fall feasts at his second coming. And I am assuming that the Lord is going to harpazo us at the before the 80 years can be fit in the time frame of 2028. Hang on a second. I'm going to shut my space heater off because it sounds like I'm in the aircraft over here. So when I thought, whether it be of the Lord or not of the Lord, that he is able, that means that he is not constricted to what we believe he needs to do. Because on the way up, we may discover we're way off. We were way off. And so the excitement about I am able is that if the Lord, because like I said, the tribulation period would have to start by this weekend in order for us to fit into the fall feast time frame of 2028. Speaking that right now, my logical part of my brain says Daniel's 70th week starting by this weekend. I mean, some incredible stuff would have to happen, including the rapture. But God is able. God is able if he wants to. I can't, just because my puny mind has trouble wrapping itself around that doesn't mean it can't happen. It very well can happen. But see, what I need to let you know is that I'm humbled, and I'm not waving the white flag, but I am befuddled over where we're at because I'm a big harvest type of guy, and we are I just thought it would make sense if the rapture happened in spring or summer, or at least fall during a harvest season. So I know in this channel we've been saying that the biblical winter or the biblical summer comes to an end on October 31st. Somebody posted that we really need to look for summer ending at the next new moon, which would be, I believe, this weekend. So technically, we could still actually be in very, 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 very late summer. And if something really wonderful happens from now until, let's say, Sunday ish, we'll even push it to Monday ish, everything would fit still with our projected timeline in theory. Because think about it, the fig tree generation would be fine. And also, you would get him coming back in the fall of 2028. And you know that there's been a lot of good videos on why 2021 is such a good candidate for the Lord's harpazo. And you would also have you would have several things falling into place. Now, on November 8th, if we get there and we're still here, it doesn't mean that we all go out on a ledge or, I've said tongue in cheek that November of 2028 that I would go in the fetal position and they would take me and out by straight jacket and put me in a rubber room because technically they may have grounds to do such a thing, but I feel that I'm going to continue to watch until that day. But I want to be honest with you and say I'm not going to if the Lord doesn't show me more, I'm not going to try to conjure something up for mid-November, December, whatever. In fact, to be honest with you, I want to be honest with you because there's a part of me that's like, wait a second. When watchmen come online, they're supposed to be encouraging and they're supposed to be upbeat and all that. But you want to know something? I think that you've been encouraged by TOL, but I'm not a leapfrog watchman, a lily pad jumping watchman, which, okay, there's a place for that. To be totally transparent and honest with you, if we're still here by mid-November, I'll probably do most of my study and focus, unless the Lord shows me something else, in the springtime of 2022. So God is able. Can the Lord rapture us in the next day or two or a few days? Absolutely. And Tyler brought up an excellent, excellent point. Is he is in the business and he is able to rescue at the last second. The last second. So we could be like, oh no, it's November 5th. I don't even know what's going to happen if we get through this weekend and nothing happens. I don't know if my heart can handle such a thing. But I will say this, brothers and sisters, is that God is able. He's able to rescue at the last second. And don't put it by the Lord to harpazo at 11:59 and 59 seconds. He could, but he doesn't have to. Because what we think is 11:59 and 59 seconds might be 10 of 12 to him. 11:59 and 59 seconds might be May 13th, 2022. I don't know. But we do know this. If you read the book of Jonah, he is in no rush. He is not in a rush to destroy the wicked because he's long suffering. Now, Jonah wasn't a big fan of that because first of all, he didn't like the Ninevites. And even after he preached, he was hoping that they didn't repent. And he was He had a front row seat of Nineveh, hoping that God would, call down fire and brimstone and destroy them. We know that didn't happen. I think 100 years later, they got destroyed. But because they repented, they were spared. Now, here we are, and we feel like we have the Red Sea moment. We feel like our backs are up against the wall. We're saying, how much longer, Lord? How much longer? Please don't, please, Lord, not 2022. And if I mention 2023, half of you guys might just faint, pass out, because I don't know. I hope that we're out tonight or this week. But this is the really encouraging thing, because God is able, and that's the thing that is going to be, I think, resonating in my head. When I went on a walk, I don't know if you guys remember this video, back in May of 2021, so that's several months ago. I went on a walk seeking the Lord because we were in that Pentecost time of 2021. This is like the last Pentecost before the fig tree generation is gone. And so I went for this nice hike with the Lord. And I'm praying and I'm seeking him, and two words came to my head. Be trust in him and be patient. Now, it's not exactly what I wanted to hear. And again, I can't say for sure it was his voice, it was a thought. Trust and patience. Trust in him and be patient. And when you're watching, patience is a tough thing. And of course, when high watches come and go, your trust gets a bit affected, if I'm being honest, right? But now here we are in November 1st of 2021. And, Brother Barry Awe, if you notice what he said, and I'm not saying he might have changed his mind, so I don't know where he's at. But when he was presenting the possibility of the rapture happening in October, he said in one of his videos, and I don't know which one, he says, I'll be honest with you, I don't see anything else past this. Now, he just came out with a video of why 2021 is such a good is a good candidate. It's still in play for really being a good candidate. But I respect what Dr. Awe said in that video. He says, at the time when he said that, he said, I don't see anything past this, at least right now. Maybe the Lord showed him something and he's got something more. But this is the wonderful thing, is that it's okay for a watchman or watchwoman to say, this is where I'm at and this is what I'm seeing, but still have hope. Still have hope. Because I know that the Lord has the ability, even if we're still here in a couple weeks from now, to say, I'm about to show you something. I'm about to show you all something. And it might be a jaw dropper. It might be something where it's like, wow, Lord, no one saw that coming. Why did you show this to us now? This is the thing. This is the thing, is that God can do whatever he wants to do. So right now, I think our eyes and our hope should be these days right now in front of us. And to watch and pray. And watching and praying, when you think about watch doesn't mean to take out your lawn chair and position it in such a way where you're viewing the sky and you got your arms crossed and you're just waiting. Watching is active. Watching is reading the Bible, seeking him in prayer, having fellowship, seeing what's going on in the world, and watching for his return. So we will be actively watching, but we want to be honest too, because, I love making videos and I'd like to make videos as until the trumpet happens. But I got to be honest with you. I don't want to just conjure something up for the sake of making a video. I want to be looking and saying, what about this? Or what about that? Can this be connected? Maybe that's connected. Maybe this is a possibility. So if I have nothing, I need to be honest and say I don't have anything. Right now I'm a bit I have a mixture of excitement and a bit perplexed because there was always um, something beyond that seemed to be really, really awesome, even if said high watch time passes. But as 14th of 2022, there is, to me, that's very dear. I said that's my lapdog. When you take the fig tree generation and combine it with Psalm 90, verse 10, that's like my lapdog, and that's been my lapdog for 10 years. Now, the possibility of my lapdog being taken from me, because it will be taken from me if we're still here in May 14th of 2022, that's not an exciting thought for me. Because whenever I was like struggling in my watching, I'd pet my lapdog and he would lick me and he'd snuggle up to me and he'd wag his tail and get excited. It that would be a tough loss. That would be a tough loss because it just to me seems like a perfect fit. Psalm 90 verse 10 and the parable of the fig tree. I mean, I'm seeing 444 right now. Uh, what a beautiful couple. I mean, I made a video. I hope you could go watch it. I'm sure I got this young guy and this young girl who are in love. The young guy represents the fig tree, the parable of the fig tree, and the young girl, which I named Selah, is Psalm 90 verse 10. And they're just enamored with each other. And I said that we want this couple to get married. Because if that couple gets married, we're out of here. We're raptured because we're out of time. We're out of time. May 14th, 2022. You can't keep those two guys joined anymore. Can't do that. The only way you could do that is say, well, when the Psalm says by strength 80, we have to take that loosely. I'm taking that literally. I'm taking that as the outside limit of what the Lord was speaking of for a generation. If the Lord meant it loosely, then the Lord meant it loosely. Or maybe the Lord will be like, I don't know where you guys were looking. I don't know. I never told you to connect Psalm 90 verse 10 with the parable of the fig tree, and I be very sorry for that. Even the end of that, and we fly away. I think it's an incredible hint, incredible clue. If you read Psalm 90, it has the theme of wrath. I mean, it just beautiful couple, beautiful couple. So as we get closer to this is really good. You know why? Because it's good for us to be in a place where we're like a little bit. Forgive me for saying this. A little bit desperate because that might just be the time when he comes. Now, okay, I'll say this now, and I am who I am. Now that doesn't exclude me from my process of sanctification that the Lord is working on me. I'm not a rah rah type of guy. I'm just not. I'm not a good cheerleader. Um, I tend to be more pessimistic. Wackadoodle Samoan, Aaron from Got a Minute, Tyler from Generation 2430. I'm sorry, yeah, 2434. Bro Tyler, um, Barry Scarborough, Barry Scarborough, I would say. Tim Henderson, definitely. These guys are positive, encouraging watchmen who, no matter how tight or bad it gets, they are encouragers. They're hopeful. They're positive. Not me. TOL end time. This is a different channel. We're a little bit different here. We're we're cautiously optimistic, and are certainly our hopes in the Lord. But we also want to be and not that they're not transparent. I just if it is it if I don't get super excited about something, I'm not going to manufacture it. Okay. So I'm at a place where I have to consider what I meditated on and felt that God is able, and I need to hear that because I'm more of a glass half empty. Okay, I'm a glass half empty watchman. I'm not saying I'm a doubting Thomas, because I have strong faith in the Lord, but I just I am who I am. All right. So, having said that, I want you to know that when you tune into TOLN times, you're not going to get uh, warm and fuzzy things all the time. You might get stuff. You might get stuff like, "Oh, yeah, Pro Church seems a little down during that video," or you might say, "Oh, he seems a little bit too enthusiastic." I don't know. I'm not bipolar, but I you know it. I'm not going to manufacture something. I am absolutely concerned with if we're still here next week. Just being honest. Okay. He is able. So I'm going to need your encouragement. I'll still encourage you. There's something I read up today that was encouraging that I'm holding off till probably tomorrow. Doesn't necessarily mean the rapture is going to be, you know, next, tonight or anything, but I got something really interesting to share with you. So we'll continue to watch. We'll continue to be encouraged. We'll continue to look. But we have work to do too. Because let's say, this is hypothetical. If the Lord comes back this spring of 2022, which I hope it's not the case, I want to go tonight. But let's say the Lord comes back the spring of 2022. We got November, December, January, February, March, April. So you're talking 6 months. Comes back April, May of 2022. 6 months left on planet Earth. And yes, the planet Earth is pretty skunked out right now. It stinks. Not good. But in 6 months, are we going to pout, be in despair and distressed, or are we going to do what we need to do as a body of believers? Because in that 6 months, many people could get saved. And you guys know, and I know, we need encouragement. Like, for example, the very thought of me having to go through another winter in this very evil world is does not tickle my fancy. It does not warm up the cockles of my heart. But I will need you. I will need you guys for encouragement, and I will feel very obligated to encourage you, if that makes sense. Now, I'll be honest, if it's this weekend, I need you guys, and I hope I could be of service to you. So we're like a pile of coals, right? A big pile of coals. I heard this analogy in a sermon, and it had to do with fellowship. But you guys are special because the percentage of people who are saved, who are actually watching, I mean, really watching, like we are, I, I'd be surprised if it's at 10% of those who are saved, even with all the things going on in the world. I would say I'd be surprised if it's over 10%. So, anyways, here we got like this little subgroup of watchmen in the body of Christ, and we're like a pile of charcoal coals. And if you take one of those coals and you set it off to the side, that one coal is gonna die out quick. But what's pretty remarkable is that if you keep all the coals together, they stay glowing and warm. Those embers keep staying hot for a very long time. And that's sort of the analogy I like is that's what we need to do is during this time is encourage one another, rely on the Lord, because the Lord, one of my prayers is let's finish this race strong. And so we know we're at the end. We know that this is the home stretch. God can get us through, but I believe He wants us to encourage one another as we see the day approaching, right? So let's stay encouraging one another, trusting in the Lord, and He is able. He is able. Now, keep in mind, right, that everything is still in place. So I might be wrestling with, Lord, are you gonna rapture the church when it's really not harvest season, or harvest season really comes to a screeching halt by this weekend? It's just not harvest season anymore. Will you do that? Why not? He could. He could do that. Does that mean that the Lord has to rapture us on a feast day? No, he doesn't. But if you look at everything that's going on, what's going to be the outcome of La Palma? I mean, if you look at the two extremes, you could say, well, La Palma's going to die down. It's going to become no longer a factor. It's going to be a non-event. That's one extreme. The other extreme is that half the island falls into the ocean, creates a tsunami as the waves are rushing towards America. Maybe America is Babylon the Great. That happening in Yellowstone, erupts and he raptures the church while all that chaos is happening. Those are like two polar opposites, right? Now that could happen. But it could also not happen. We don't know. But the one thing that we do know is that he's able, and that remains a possibility. I mean, La Palma to me is a sign. And even if it were to die down, I would say, wow, that really got the world's attention for a while. And that seemed like it was quite a birth pang. Now, you know that Israel and Iran are that war can break out any day now. Damascus is ripe for the picking to be destroyed. We got COP or COP26 happening right now, where all the world leaders have been meeting since Halloween up until the 14th or something of November. They just did the 7-year peace plan from the Grand Poobah in the Vatican. So there is a lot going on right now, tremendous amount going on right now. So, having said everything that I said, just looking at the signs alone, the needle is definitely pointed in the red. Definitely pointed in the red. We're not waiting for X, Y, and Z to happen. Everything could go down at any time right now. So, yes, we should not let up in watching and being encouraged in the Lord. There's no way we should let up. So, we need to encourage each other, because if you're like me, you get days where you're up and you get days where you're down. You might have a good week and you might have a bad week. I'm more day to day. Now, I would like to see, this is just to try, because we got over 1,300 beautiful people on the live chat right now. I would like you to give me, listen carefully. If you're a, I'm pretty much positive about the Lord coming back 90% of the time or more. Give me a thumbs up. And if you're more up and down, give me a thumbs down. Okay. So if you're a 90% of the time thumbs up, I'm excited. I'm always uppity up. 90% or more time, give me thumbs up. If you're up and down, you could give me a thumbs down. Okay, so most of you are thumbs up, guys. That's great. I would say there are some thumbs down, but most of you guys are thumbs up. That's wonderful. Somebody's got a finger pointing that way. It's okay. Yeah, it looks like maybe 80% of you are thumbs up, and somebody put 2 feet down. Uh, okay. Okay, good to see. So most of you are really strong, faithful, optimistic watchers. That's wonderful. That's great. And for those who have a thumbs down, you're not less than. You're absolutely not less than. Uh, I feel your struggle, and we love you and we need you. We need the thumbs uppers and we need the thumbs downers. We need each other, because I think there's a balance too that can happen. That's a blessing, because we could get overly excited and optimistic, and we could get too down and too pessimistic. So I think it's good to have that mix. And let me say this, is that Jesus loves you. He doesn't love the thumbs uppers more than he loves the thumbs downers. He loves all of us. Just like if you're a parent and you have one child that is, you know, super happy and excited about something, you got another child who's a bit on the fence. You as a parent love them all. Matter of fact, you might try to encourage the one that's has a bit of trepidation. It's a wonderful thing. Now, the next question I have for the group is, all the things I spewed out, a good 40 minutes worth or more, give me some feedback. Did I make any sense? And don't give me a thumbs. You could give me. I would like to read maybe a half a dozen comments. So just what did you make of what I said? I hope I wasn't discouraging. Um, maybe it was encouraging. Maybe it was confusing. I'm not even sure I understand what I just shared. But what are your thoughts right now, as we are in November and we're just trying to make sense make sense of things? Because my mind might be processing things different than yours, or maybe you could relate to some things. I don't know. So let me read some of you guys what you have to say here. All right, let's start with Dino27 wrote, I'm not going to watch all day as hard past, say, November 12th ish, but I will keep watching. We are close. Jesus will come, but it's hard to wait. I feel your pain, brothers. Hugs. Thanks, Dino. Hugs right back at you. Let me read some more here. Uh, Tina McCrary says, starting to seem like we are stretching. Best times seem to be Pentecost and Feast of Trumpets. Worried we're in this for another year. Well, be encouraged, Tina. The Lord does not have to rapture us on a feast day. If you're of that mindset, that's okay. But I believe the Lord can come at any moment. Alan D, I think you're spot on, Bro Chooch. If we go past this weekend, then I'm thinking we're looking more at May 2022. Okay. Okay. Sorson says, I feel that I am day to day for the rapture. Okay, these are too good to stop at half a dozen. Connie Schueman, many of us have had the same feelings, Chooch. Uh, M. Luem says, isn't there a song, You Are Able? And you want to know something? There is. And that song was going in my head tonight as well. I'm not going to sing it for you, but there is a hymn that has that word in there. And I'm going to try to look it up later. Guy Viola says unsubscribe. Then he says ... just kidding. Ooh. Very good. Diane Bowden, don't think he's coming this year. Okay. But be prepared. He could surprise us. Sis C. Yang. I am mostly concerned about the readiness of myself and my loved ones, no matter when the glorious day will occur. See, that's the thing about watching is you want to stay encouraged because you continue to watch when you're encouraged, don't you? It's the hard times that you have to push yourself to continue to watch. And that's understandable. Emily Praise says, I'm standing strong through November and will pray and readjust on what Jesus shows me. Good. I think it's good to have that mindset of let's see what the Lord shows us as time progresses forward. Steve Del Gallo, the bride of Christ must make herself ready. Diana W., encouragement is critical to our witness to others. Amen. Dustin Royal, children make their best guess at the present under the tree, making educated guesses based on the weight, shape. I like this analogy. And if it makes noise. Very good, Dustin. That's what we do as watchmen. We'll be happy regardless. And that's such a good analogy because it's like it's a gift. Isn't the rapture a gift? Our salvation was a gift. And whether we guess the gift right or not, we know it's good and it's coming from somebody that loves us. But we do try to guess, don't we? Rachel Nelson says, I hope it's sooner than 2026. Oh, I hope so. Or 2027. G6 comes out on 2030. What if that's the halfway point of the trib? Just a thought, but I really hope the rapture is sooner than that. I can't even entertain those years. I mean, if you're minusing the 7, but you're saying 2026 and 2027, so obviously you can't be factoring that in. So yeah, your numbers are I would not look that far ahead. Nicole Para 777. I feel like every day I spend half the day weary and the other half encouraged. It's a mixed bag of emotions day to day. I pray it happens soon. Honestly, I will wait till the dying day if I have to. LOL. Very love your heart, Nicole. Thanks for your honesty. Also, your determination. We watch until that day. SNS, there's also a song, One Day at a Time, Sweet Jesus. Amen. That's a good song and a good philosophy. Twin Page 777. Being in a group like this makes me feel less crazy. It's nice to have the same mindset, brothers and sisters. Amen. Absolutely. That's why I love this forum that we have here. City on the Hill says Tribulation 2022, Rapture 2021. I had a dream of this that God gave me. I hope it was from God because I'm okay with Rapture 2021, and if he wants to start the trip in 2022, that's fine. Um, English Rose. There is no way he's not coming soon. Just watching the world being taken over, evil not hiding, floods, volcanoes, hurricanes, hail, fire, all over destroying things. Look up Our Redemption Draws Nigh, y'all. Very good. Very good. Okay. On Fire for Jesus says, if we go through the tribs and the guillotine, so be it for the chance to have eternity in heaven with Jesus. It is worth it. Okay, that's I applaud your valor, but to me, it's a really airtight case for the pre-trib rapture. But we sure should be praying for the future tribulation saints that will have to endure some really, awful things. Let's see, a few more of these. Justin Guzman, the stage is getting set, or your Antichrist spirit is here. How close are we really? I think the spirit of Antichrist is definitely here. I mean, just some of the things that is coming out and being proposed is certainly demonic, it seems. Carol Gwift, there are too many signs for it not to be very, very soon. I agree. Molehead89, we have another 3 years of Biden. God has to come soon. All right, I'm just gonna do three more, okay? Okay, here's a good one, I think. Rhonda Carrington says Dr. Barry Oz' latest video is really good. According to Dr. Barry, we're still in high watch time for the early part of November. Okay, so we're kind of lined up with that same mindset. Sherry, this is a sister that's been on TOL for a long time. I really respect this sister. September 3rd, I was cutting grass and the Lord dropped in my head the words clarion call. I didn't even know what that meant, and I had to look it up. Then I saw the recent last call on Time Magazine. Wow, that's interesting, sister. That is, I mean, that I think you guys know what picture she's referring to on the cover of Time Magazine. It's absolutely eerie, but even the enemy, I think, is starting to know that time is up, and not for climate change. Angel Snow, the Lord will come when his time has been appointed by his Father. But I also feel that the time is very, very near. We need to stay strong in our faith till then. Very good. Okay, this will be the last one. And this is from Marina. My Bible quote for today: the great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasteneth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty men shall cry there bitterly. It's a good comment to end on. Guys, thanks for being patient with me tonight, and thanks for hearing me out, sticking with me. I don't want to be I hope it wasn't discouraging. I just being honest. He is able. Let me leave you with that. He is able. And because he is able, we continue to watch and be excited. You know what? Isn't that wonderful? That God who spoke the universe in existence, right? Literally in 6 days, he created everything that we could see, touch. Do you think it's too difficult for him to snatch up his bride whenever he wants to? Absolutely not. So, thank you. God bless you. And I hope to see you here, there, but especially in the air.